In the spirit of Murrow, Jennings, Cronkite, here's another great moment in local news.
After the break, we're going to interview Eric Weihenmayer, who climbed the highest mountain in the world, Mount Everest. But he's gay. He's blind. So we'll hear about that coming up.
That's a great moment in local news. Now, back to the Adam Carolla Show.
Got stabbed in the orbital socket with a hard cock. Took his eyes out.
Favorite. That's my favorite.
So that was a Freudian slip. Yeah.
Classic.
I love it.
Awesome.
All right. We'll do some news.
Yeah, so when your dad had to guess the name of the puppet show you worked on, I'm surprised he didn't do a Sid and Marty Krofft show. Because they're the king of the puppet shows. But so in the news now, Marty Krofft has just passed away.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Age 86. He died Saturday of kidney failure.
Wow.
Often referred to as the king of Saturday mornings.
Wow.
He and his brother Sid also produced a number of primetime variety shows, including Donnie Marie and Barbara Mandrell and the Mandrell sisters.
Wow.
And then the craziest Pink Lady and Jeff. I was trying to explain to someone what Pink Lady... Remember Jeff Altman?
Yes. The comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 19-year-old Jeff Altman with two Japanese singers who didn't speak English. And they just put them together and said, you're doing a variety show on Friday nights on ABC.
I never saw that.
It's nuts.
And they produced it? Sid and Marty Krofft produced it?
Sid and Marty Krofft produced it.
Oh, wow.
And it never stood a chance because Altman was like super young. I mean, this is like 1978 or something. Jeff Altman's not even that old now. I mean, he's the guy who would always end up on Letterman doing big beefy butt steaks.
Right.
I mean, no one really knew what he was talking about. Like I think Letterman had a handful of guys who he knew from maybe the store back in the day or something. He had kind of an allegiance to, but you didn't know.
George Miller, Johnny Witherspoon, Altman, and then there was forgot who else.
Right, and he would have him on He would have on Letterman, but if you were just watching Letterman, you'd be a little confused because you'd be like, "This guy's not that funny," and I don't know what he's doing on your super funny show. But they were like grandfathered in. And Altman would do big, beefy butt steaks that we've talked about.
Yeah, he's great.
And we've seen
Pink Lady.
clips from Pink Lady.
So,
It's just an odd
just to
variety
put,
show.
but to put Sid and Marty Krofft in context,
Okay.
we're talking Sigmund the Sea Monster.
Yeah.
We're talking
HR
Puff and stuff. We're talking
Land of the
Lost.
Yeah, we're talking about the
these
worst television shows ever produced.
I don't think so.
The
I
worst.
beg to differ.
The worst. Now,
Sid
Sid did the puppets. That's creative.
But as a kid, those fucking shows in the 70s, to me, I watched them all the time. Sigmund and the Sea Monster was my favorite show. I wanted to do a movie version of Sigmund and the Sea Monster where I played Sigmund and do the voice of Sigmund.
Oh, do we have the picture of Johnny Whitaker now? Do you know what Johnny Whitaker looks?
Now?
Yes.
I don't.
You want to feel old?
Okay.
I know. You don't. I don't either. He looks like Burl Ives.
Really?
Well, Johnny Whitaker's like, Johnny Whitaker was the kid from the 70s.
Yeah.
Like there was just a kid from the 70s, and it was Johnny Whitaker. You see, kids today don't have their own kid. We had like a kid, we had Rodney Allen Rippey and Johnny Whitaker. Johnny Whitaker was from Family Affair and Sigmund and the Sea Monsters. And there was that picture I gave you at some point. Wow. Not the picture.
I
sent it to you. Somebody sent it.
It was a
somebody
like tweet.
tweeted it.
Yeah.
To
Was
me.
that him?
Yeah.
Or no,
Donny
that
Osmond.
wasn't it? Was
Oh,
that
it's him and Donny
Yeah,
Osmond.
it's him and Donny
Yeah,
Osmond.
that's right. No, that is him, but you need to see Donny Osmond and Johnny Whitaker because Johnny Whitaker was this redhead little impish kid that was in every Escape to Witch Mountain and like all these Disney movies and stuff like that. Well, anyway, you can keep going, but when you see that picture,
So why didn't you
prepare
like
to feel
why
old.
didn't you like those cartoons? You didn't like Land of the Lost?
Where's that picture?
That's great.
It is. We had it. Or you had it.
It's in one of his like tweets, Byron.
It was. No, they were creatively bankrupt in that the jokes were horrible and the themes were horrible. Everything was horrible, but they were super creative visually. And,
So you like the visual, but just all the story.
Sid was the puppeteer, and Sid created all the puppets and all the stuff. And that you can't deny him the creativity of all the sets and the puppets and the stage and everything like that. There was nothing funny about it, but
TV Guide named HR Puff and Stuff one of the top cult shows ever.
yeah, it was like Puff and Stuff was good if you were under 9 or older than 19 and super high.
Yes.
Those, but in between,
That was
if you were
Pauly.
15, you were punished.
I was obsessed.
Yeah.
I was so obsessed that I went because I was friends with these guys. I was friends with Marty Krofft through my family, through my parents and stuff. So I remember probably about 15 years ago, I'd go sit on the couch at their production office, and he gave me a Sigmund doll. I was so excited. This is recent, in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Marty gave it to you.
Marty did, yeah. He gave me a Sigmund doll, and I love that movie.
Sid's still alive, living up in the hills, living in like a crazy.
He lives with Richard Simmons, probably.
Yeah. He lives in a crazy house. I've been to his house.
Really?
He's been on the show. He's a
Wow.
good dude.
Wow.
And
Very nice guy,
I don't think. I think he had a falling out with his brother. I think he took some money. I think Sid is the creative type, and the creative types always get taken advantage of by the business types because they got the head for money and they're way creating all the time. So I think there's something there. Where's that picture? It's driving me nuts.
There it is.
Oh, wow.
That is
Oh, wow.
Johnny Whitaker.
Wow.
Looks like Burl Ives. That's how old we are.
Santa Claus.
Yeah. So there you go, everybody.
Yeah, Johnny Whitaker was the best.
Yeah, I don't know.
I liked him.
I don't know if anyone could act back then. They just kind of looked about right. Like, I don't get. Like and you never went. Oh, that guy's a fine actor.
Here's
You just
something
go,
I'm going to throw at you.
and they never work again. No one in the Partridge Family, no one in the Brady Bunch. They never work again. So how could they be good actors?
Here, I'm going to throw something at you, and this will be very interesting. I know you're like triple OG, like as far as references, as far as knowing.
I am.
You're triple OG. Now let's see if you're quadruple OG. Because I'm quadruple OG.
Okay.
Giant Robot.
Yeah.
Do you ever remember Giant Robot?
I kind of remember the
let's slow
cartoon,
down.
the series.
Giant Robot. It was this giant robot that went into the sky.
Yeah.
And when we were kids in the 70s.
Yes.
Is there anything on the internet about Giant Robot? This will maybe trigger something in your brain because this was my favorite. And besides David and Goliath. I love David and Goliath.
Oh, boy.
What about
That was the
David
chick.
Goliath.
Davey? We were just talking about. Hello, Davey.
Yeah.
There we go.
Is there anything about
get to-
Giant Robot?
There's giant robot stuff. Every
Is
David
there?
and Goliath would be like Davy'd go, we get to church faster if we took that man's car. I don't know, Davy. You know,
Yeah.
like it was the dog was always trying to talk him out of stuff, you know.
I love David and
Did you
Goliath.
remember Hercules?
Yeah.
Hercules.
Yeah.
Hercules, I will evil fear him. Yeah, it was a bunch of bad 70s cartoons.
I love those. But that's what I used
Did
to
you watch Speed Racer
Yeah.
and Kimba the White Lion?
Yes. I love Speed Racer.
You know the
That was
Kimba
good.
the White Lion theme song?
Don't. But I remember it.
I can sing it.
Is there
Recently, the Kimba,
What else then?
Kimba.
Can I see any giant robot? Anything?
Are you thinking of Giant Robo?
No, giant
No.
robot. I don't think there's anything
haven't-
online about it.
But I remember I didn't watch it as religiously as you. I was more of a Speed Racer, Kimba. Stupid. It was all dumb.
Yeah.
But anyway, Sid is great. I don't know about Marty because I think he kind of ripped off Sid, but they produced. Sid and Marty Krofft were like Aaron Spelling before Aaron Spelling.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
every TV show they had their
70s
fingerprints
TV
on.
show
Absolutely.
canon. Like
Yeah.
they own that.
They did the Donnie and Marie show. They did the Osmond family. They did every variety show. The Mandrell sisters, DC Follies. I mean, it's crazy. What a resume. All right.
Yeah. Well, rest in peace, Marty Krofft.
That's right.
Wow.
So, in other news, Derek Chauvin,
Yeah.
the former Minneapolis officer convicted in the death of George Floyd, he was stabbed in prison, but he is expected to survive following the attack in Arizona on Friday. And yeah, I mean, they haven't named anything. Not
Well,
a
do you
ton
know
of
why?
information.
Do you know why he got stabbed? Because I heard, or at least I saw on Fox, that there's a new documentary about George Floyd, about him partying like the year before or something. Did you hear about that?
Well,
I know
Okay.
he was trying to overturn the
That's what I'm
conviction.
saying.
Yeah.
He was trying to prove that this guy was a certain way or something. I don't know.
all right. Everything
He's trying to appeal it, right?
we're living in some weird upside down world where half the shit that's been peddled, not even half, almost every big story that's been peddled over the last 4 years has been bullshit, which is scary and weird, which is to say, I mean, it's all the whole Floyd thing. So this guy's basically a career criminal, and he's a drug addict, and he has pre-existing conditions. He has like one valve closed, George Floyd, in his autopsy, and he has enough fentanyl to be a fatal dose of fentanyl in his system at the time. Then everyone goes nuts.
Well, it doesn't excuse the guy holding his head down for so long. That wasn't cool.
Yes, agreed.
I mean,
but
yeah.
there's a few things. So then we realize we have to take this cop and put him in jail for the rest of his life. Otherwise, the entire country's going to burn. So then they take the actual autopsy, which didn't say he died or had compressions on his neck or anything like that. The basic autopsy said he wasn't killed by Chauvin. But they take that and they basically just go, look, do you want to release this and have the whole city burn, or do you just want to kind of sacrifice this guy and save the city? So that's essentially what happened to Chauvin. He got sacrificed so the city wouldn't burn, but now you get sacrificed, which is bad enough. You got to do 20 years in prison, but now you're getting stabbed in prison, and you're essentially sacrificed so that the city wouldn't burn.
He
now,
is the face of white supremacy, other than Larry Elder.
Right.
And so
Right.
he's serving a 21-year sentence, but he filed this request to overturn his conviction without a lawyer. There's this doctor in Kansas who told him that he believes George Floyd died not from asphyxia, but from Chauvin's actions, but from complications of a rare tumor called paraganglioma that can cause a fatal surge of adrenaline.
Yes, but it's CNN's fault because there was a story. We could have looked into this story, but they didn't want to look into the story because they didn't want the prisoners to riot, essentially. So they just said, fuck it. They withheld evidence. The police chief in Minneapolis said, we absolutely do not train our officers to hold people down with their knee the way he did it. We don't have that in our training. And then all the cops came forward and went, we're absolutely trained that way. He lied. Everyone just had an agreement. It's the same thing we just did with COVID. It's the same. Look, 51 intelligence experts signed a document that said Hunter Biden's laptop was fake. They signed it. Why? They knew it wasn't fake. They didn't think it was fake. Why did they sign this document? Because they said, we're going to do this so this thing doesn't happen. So we don't get Donald Trump. And if we don't get Donald Trump, then we can relax and we can get back to normal. So they did it. They did the exact same thing with Chauvin. They just went, look, we have this evidence. We have a coroner's report. Everyone fucking lie. Throw it out the window. CNN, ladies from The View, get on board. We'll sacrifice one guy. He'll go to prison for 20 years, and we'll save our city from burning. And everyone went, good, I'm in on it. And that's how it worked. Unfortunately, that's not justice. That's the problem. That's the problem. It's a tacit agreement.
What about the prisoner swapping that's going on right now with the kidnapping of the Jewish people versus the Palestinian prisoners?
It's always, here's the people. The crazies always win. The crazies always win, whether it's a crazy ex-wife, a crazy roommate, or Hamas. They always win.
Right.
You go, so what do we swap?
Yeah,
we're
the
swapping 50 kids and moms and 4-year-olds and elderly for 150 folks that are proven terrorists.
Right.
And then your first would go, well, it doesn't seem fair to trade just civilians for terrorists, number one. But number two, how about just 50 for 50? Now, 3-1.
Yeah.
Because crazy
They always
wins. Anyone who's been in a relationship with a crazy person, they win. You can't do it. Oh, we're going to build our headquarters under a hospital. Crazy wins. That's how crazy wins. Human shields, crazy wins. We're going to store munitions in a preschool. Crazy wins. Crazy
Trump.
always wins. Yes, wins. That's how it works. We're living in a society where anybody at CNN could have figured out that Derek Chauvin did not kill George Floyd. Anyone could have figured it out. But crazy wins. That's where we're at now.
What are your predictions with the rest of Derek's sentence?
Oh, look. Imagine if you were on the losing end of this equation, of someone going like Pauly, we know you didn't really kill the guy. We know he was a career drug addict. We know he was filled with fentanyl. We know he had a bad ticker and so on and so forth. But you got to go away for 20 years because everyone's going to freak out. And we already built a bunch of monuments and shit. Okay. And the president spoke about him and all the vice president, and they already said this was a big problem. So you got to go to prison for 20 years, and you probably get stabbed. And look, you got a good case. You got a real good case, but we can't. And by the way, the other cops have got to go to jail too, like the ones who just kind of showed up and were trying to do crowd control and stuff. Like, we understand. We have to make. Now, if you're one of the people that burned the electronics store during the riot, we don't need anything from you. I mean, you'll be fine. You can go loot, you can go burn, you can do whatever. But if you showed up at the Capitol on January 6th, we're going to have to fucking make an example of you. And we have to lock you up. I don't know. Does that seem like a good thing? That's all I'm saying. Like, we got two systems working now. I'm not being paranoid. It's just what's working. If you rioted and looted during, the summer of love, you're probably fine. If you went anywhere near the Capitol on January 6th, you're probably fucked. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put a commission together to study January 6th, where we're going to selectively edit all the tape, and we're not going to show any of the stuff that would show that you weren't guilty, and we'll get that all out of there, and we'll just fucking railroad you. I don't know. That doesn't seem like a good system. And that's where we're at now. So Chauvin is fucked, not because he doesn't have a good case, but just because everyone's going to go, I don't want to touch it. I'm not going to touch it.
Yeah.
So you still didn't answer his question.
Oh, yeah.
I think what I would say to Derek Chauvin is like, look, it's been a couple years. Things have cooled down a little. Once you get away from it a little bit, like once you get a little distance and people move on to the next outrage or whatever's going on around the world, we can kind of quietly work this deal. We couldn't have done it when everyone was on pins and needles.
Yeah. And let's say he does get out of prison. What is Derek Chauvin's life in American society after that?
It's over.
It's over.
Yeah. Or he'll probably do a podcast. But it's a new system. It's fucked up. And the real people that are to blame are all the news outlets who just jump on all the stuff and all the fucking race hustlers and all the hysterics out there. Anyway.
Well, he is recovering.
Yeah. Well, good.
Well, speaking of crazy always wins, so there's this viral video taken by passengers on a Frontier Airlines flight from Orlando to Philly.
This is the other thing.
On Frontier, well, that's where the first part starts, because if you're flying Frontier, you're what?
Yeah.
You're crazy.
Spirit or Frontier.
Yeah.
Sorry, remember, this is the other thing that's weird. What happened to the air marshals? Remember there was going to be air marshals? And everyone is fighting and taking shits on airplanes and duking it out and singing the gospel hits and everything. Where's the air marshal? What happened to the air marshals? The air marshals, I just saw someone interviewed on this. It's a great clip. The air marshals are down at the border trying to help out with the border shit show. And they're on January 6th travel people who traveled to D.C. during January 6th. That's what they're doing. And by the way, you didn't have to go to the Capitol. Just go to D.C. during January 6th. That's what we have the air marshals doing. Meanwhile, it's the fucking OK Corral on the airplane.
So no more air marshals. They don't exist. On the planes.
Well, they're not. They're all grounded. They're either at the border or they're following January 6th.
Let's see this video.
Okay, so anyway, this video, this woman wanted to pee. She's being stopped, and she was getting very upset. So here we go.
I'm ready to pee over here. All right. Sorry, everybody.
Are you serious?
Okay, let me use the bathroom. Let me use the
She pulls her pants down, squats. Everybody gets upset.
Women are getting crazy.
Yeah, she pulls up her pants.
I don't give a fuck. You're not the owner.
There are kids on this plane.
These are people who shouldn't be flying.
Let me pass.
This poor little boy next to her.
That kid's. Any kid on this plane is going to need therapy. Because these kids are going to be in their 30s and they're going to be paying heavy-set Latina chicks to pee on them.
I don't want to defend the woman that did that, but
Please.
there's people with the urinary problems, and I've been on the plane before, and if you can't go pee, you have to be stuck there not peeing, and it's not comfortable because
Hold on, let me write this down again.
A lot of these
Not comfortable.
No, it's not. Think about when you're driving in your car and you have to pee, and you're like, "Fuck, I'm gonna be home soon," and blah blah blah. And sometimes you ever pulled over on the side of the road and just peed?
I did it last night.
Yeah, so it's
I
the
did
same
it at the
thing.
charging station. When I
On
went
a
back to the
BMW.
charging
So what's
station
the
at night, I
difference?
just went, "Oh man, I
What's
can take
the
a piss."
difference between that and what they did? What she did?
Well, I stood behind a container in
but
the
you
dark.
still peed in the where you're not supposed to pee.
Yeah, I think there's subtle differences between squatting it in the middle of a crowded airplane and me stepping behind a dumpster at night to take a piss on some wooded area.
So what happens if you had a real bad urinary problem and your you have a note from your doctor that you have to pee every 15 minutes or every half hour or whatever, and you're stuck on the tarmac and you're literally fucking just dying? What would you do?
I think you must, if you can at all accommodate, let them pee in the airplane
Right.
if you can. And they have these stupid rules where, like, we haven't reached our cruising altitude yet or whatever that is.
We haven't
or
taken off yet.
We're in an active taxiway or whatever.
Yeah.
I get it. I'm just saying, sadly, the rules apply to everyone. I'm also saying to everyone, you got to time your shit. Take
That's
the piss
true.
at the airport
I
before
think
you get
that's
in the plane.
I think that's the better answer. I think the idea is that if you know you have a pee problem, don't drink so much water.
I'm
and then
also
yeah.
saying
Plan ahead.
Plan
that
ahead,
the
yeah.
Like you're
kids-
watching that new Scorsese film. Go pee before.
the kids on that plane, a certain percentage of them are going to have a sexual fetish about heavy set chicks peeing on them, and that's a real
They're
possibility.
going to want to recreate that trauma.
Yes, there's going to be a lot of therapy involved. So she pulled the shorts down, or the leggings down.
Well, first she like puts like her jacket on the seat. Goes, "I'm sorry, everybody," and then
Gotta
and then
piss.
just
I'll do
commits.
that with beating off every once in a while on the plane. I'll just go, sorry.
And then
rubbing
and she
one out.
squatted. Like, I mean, if she really wanted to threaten, I think if she would just squatted with her pants on, it still would have been.
Or you can do what I've done before.
Okay.
Which is, and I'll say this because I'm just talking about this, and I kind of remember doing this. This was years ago. I had to pee so bad, and we had landed in LAX or something, and you can't, you have to wait to go to the gate, and then when they push the button, that's when you can get up to pee or whatever.
Yeah.
And you can't get up if the plane is, on the ground. So what I did is I took my sweatshirt or my jacket, and I put it under me, and I just peed myself.
Really?
Yeah, I
like
did.
wearing pants?
Yes.
Did you leave the pants on?
Yes.
And you just go, I'm going right through the pants and the underpants, and I'll
Yes.
put myself a liner, which is sweat jacket.
Yeah.
Did you take the sweat jacket with you?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
And I wiped it down. I took off. It was fine.
Okay.
I remember doing that.
Well, thank you for being considerate of the seat below you,
Yeah.
I guess, right?
But that's what she should have done. She just peed right there.
Yeah.
Put her jacket right under her and just peed on her jacket like a diaper.
Yeah. Well, sad, but true. But listen, I would have. She needed to pee. Let her fucking pee.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That's what I
But
think
also,
too.
throwing that big of a
people are
fit.
fucking. People are just generally turning into animals and pieces of shit. Though they're getting big and fat and like unruly, and they're yelling like, "Hey, bitch! Hey, fuck you, bitch!" It's like they're not talking correctly. They're in everyone's grill. Women have become supersized and weaponized. Women women are fucking doing all the fighting, doing all the peeing, doing all the battling. They're angry and they're fucking formidable because they're big now.
Yeah,
Yes.
she was angry, just yelling at everybody.
All right, let's see it one more time.
All right, come on.
I want to see. and were they on the ground? Or
What's
were they
that
in
Mickey
the air?
Mouse logo doing there?
I think they're on the ground because I don't think he'd be able to. Oh, maybe it was mid-flight.
Sorry, everybody.
They're flying.
Okay, let me use the bathroom.
Oh, boy.
I moved his
I
backpack.
don't give a fuck. No, fuck you. Fuck you. I gotta go pee.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not.
Doesn't give.
This woman is literally. She's more animal than she is human, right? Like, I don't give a fuck.
The funny thing is that this black dude's like, man, I got to film this shit, and he's trying to figure out his camera. Yeah. He's like, because whoever
go
films
viral.
that's gonna go. I mean, there's millions of people see this shit.
Ugh.
Oh, that's great.
Just fucking turning into animals. That person is way closer to Pauly's dog, Buster,
Yes.
than a human. Then, if you think about like what
You think Buster's peeing or something?
could be.
Yeah, Buster didn't pee in the studio.
Yeah, he's okay.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back and do the rest of the news right after this. Viator experiences are what people love most about travel. I mean, God, taking my son fishing in Alaska, that was so amazing. I'll never forget it. Viator, it's a website and app for booking travel experiences like seeing Stonehenge or a walking tour of Rome. Over 300,000 bookable experiences in 190 countries. Millions of real travelers' reviews. So you have the information you need to book the best activities for your trip. With Viator, there's always flexibility and support with free cancellation, payment options, and 24/7 service. So let's get out there and experience life, shall we? Download the Viator app now and use the code Viator10 for 10% off your first booking in the app. One app, over 300,000 travel experiences you won't forget. Do more with Viator.
It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Ace Man, Jeremy in Nashville. Got a list to add to your things to do before you die. Get a call on a burner phone confirming something has happened, and as soon as you hang up, you snap the flip phone in half. Get it on, baby doll.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Well, I'll see you at Zany's this Friday and Saturday in Nashville, if you want to come out. Huntsville, Sunday, 2 shows. And Fargo, that'll be the day. That'll be the Thursday before. Fargo Theater, doing stand-up there. Pauly Shore's taking a whiz, actually. We're
All
talking
that talking about peeing. I mean,
But he'll
I
be
was thinking
back in a sec.
my favorite peeing on a plane story though is Mike August on a private flight
Yeah.
peeing into a bottle.
Yeah.
2
Gatorade.
bathrooms.
2 bathrooms. Private flight to Europe.
Private flight though.
Fill the Gatorade bottle up.
bathrooms.
And left it.
And left it in the cup holder.
Buster sit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I went to
respect.
clean it, and I knew to sniff it. I don't know why.
You have to.
You have to.
You have to. So
I can be since we're having a conversation about peeing.
Yeah.
Can I share with your audience that I did do a pee surgery?
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
yes,
tell
you can
us.
share
Yeah,
that.
I did that because at the end of the day, it's a problem that a lot of people have.
What was
And-
your
and
pee
no-
surgery?
It's called Resume.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and it's basically the less invasive. If you
Is
go
it like
online,
those commercials you see?
I don't
With
know.
a guy firing a fire hose, like a fireboat spraying hose or something? How'd it go?
No, basically what the problem that I had was I would pee and I wouldn't, my whole bladder wouldn't release all the urine. Mm-hmm. So you know how when you go pee and then you lie back down and you're
Yeah.
like, shit, I still have more pee?
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens. So it's basically they steam your prostate.
They
and
steam it?
They steam your prostate, yeah.
Like
and they
Gwyneth
shrink it or
Paltrow
whatever.
does with her vagina?
Yeah.
How do they steam it?
I don't know. I wasn't in the surgery, but they steam. I'm just telling you what they do. They steam it, and then you wake up with a catheter in your dick.
Oh, wait a minute. You weren't in the surgery? Or?
No, I was in the surgery. I did have the surgery.
Right. So they steamed your prostate.
Yeah.
But you don't know how.
I don't know. They steam it when they put you
were
out.
out.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
put you out. You're
Well, no,
out.
I understand you're not assisting in your own surgery. But what I'm saying is when you get surgery, they'll go, we're going to go in through here, and we're going to do a rib spreader, and then we're going to take. If someone said I'm steaming your prostate, my hand would go up.
Okay,
I'll go, like, what are
have
we
you ever
talking
been to
about
P.F. Chang's, what they do at the dumplings?
That's what they do with your prostate. So
I wake up with a catheter in my dick and a pee bag next to my leg. And so I had to wear that for a week.
But it worked.
It worked.
So you wake up and you can completely evacuate your bladder.
Pretty much.
It.
I'd say it's probably 95% there. It's a lot better than it was.
Yeah, Chris, you're not old enough, but when you get older, you get up and take a piss in the night, and then you'll get up and take 2 pisses in the night.
And then all of a sudden 3 pisses.
Right. And
I'm 4 pisses and 5 pisses. Yeah.
I just sleep standing up in front of the toilet now.
Yeah, exactly.
Just pull my eye shade down, put my noisemaker on. I spend more time taking the piss.
Something to look forward to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's a good...
yeah, but it's called Resume. There's another one that's a little gnarlier. It's called Terp. That's the one you don't want to do.
You want to resume.
Resume.
Steam the prostate.
Yeah, and I said to the doctor, why is it called Resume? He goes, well, after we do the procedure, you resume to how you used to pee. Mm-hmm. Which is...
Now, can you go back to like when you were 25? Or is it just...
a lot better.
A lot better,
yeah,
whatever
it is.
A lot better. All right.
So in Hollywood, Susan Sarandon and Jenna Melissa have been in the news. Jenna Melissa is one of the new younger stars of the Scream franchise. So both of them have been dropped. Jenna has been dropped from the Scream franchise for pro-Palestinian comments. And then Susan Sarandon was dropped by her agency, UTA, because of her attending all these pro-Palestine rallies.
Right.
Yeah, so...
don't fuck with the Jews in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So... but I
got to tell you, everyone always made the claim like, oh, this urban myth that Jews run Hollywood. I think now they do, because who else? They're dumping everybody,
right.
And I'm glad they're dumping everyone. Fuck these people. All I know with like Susan Sarandon is that she's going to be on the opposite side of every single subject I can think about.
Oh, I didn't know that. So she's like always a contrarian for.
Look. There's a disease, and she has it, and Jane Fonda has it, and everyone from The View has it, and my mom had it. She was like a hippie, which is whatever it is you like, we don't like. Like it doesn't matter what the subject. So if you can say, you go, I think we should leave that statue up of Ben Franklin in the library. And they go, nah, statue's got to go. And you go, I don't think I should have to wear a mask alone on a horse trail for COVID. And they go, got to wear that mask. And you can go, I think Hunter Biden laptop is real. They'll go, I think it's fake. I think Derek Chauvin got railroaded. I think he should spend the rest of his life in prison. I'm all for saving the environment, but I don't think paper straws are going to save anybody. I'm for paper straws. Like it doesn't matter. It's just contrarian. So you go, I'm not a Jew. I don't know anybody. I don't have heritage with Jews, but I can clearly see who Israel is, and I can clearly see who Palestine is and who Hamas is, and I stand with the Jews. I stand with Israel. And they go, well, who do you stand with again, Adam? I like Israel. Okay, I'm going Palestine. That's just, if I said, I'm going to take the Giants in the Super Bowl, they'd go, I like the Ravens. It's just everything. Yeah. And at a certain point, it's not even that they're into causes. They're just into the opposite of whatever sane people want. That's all. Dogs. Pauly let his dog back in, and now his dog wants out.
This is Buster's bucking. That's why Pauly can't leave him at home. Mm-hmm. Can't say no to that dog.
I like what you said about the dog, though. That's hilarious. Take him to a place that he doesn't like.
Yeah. Well, anyway, a lot of people on Twitter have been posting their support for Susan Sarandon. But her son, he tweeted out, please, we appreciate the support, but please stop posting that video of my mom with her honkers out. Because everyone's sharing the same video. And I thought we'd watch it. Here we go. So this is her getting her hair done.
What the hell? And then this gets nice and look at how nice and snatched this gets too.
Yeah, that's cool.
I don't know. I think I might like this one.
Yeah. So I mean,
with her tits.
She looks good.
Yeah,
she looks real good in that video. So
is that a recent video?
I don't know, but I remember seeing it of the last year or so, just because people are talking about how hot she is.
Yeah. Getting ready for like an award show.
Yeah, she looks good. So anyway, but
she was great in Dead Man Walking.
Yeah. Oh, look, she's fine. She just needs to shut the fuck up, along with all celebrities on this matter.
Yeah, and then with the the girl from the Scream franchise. So when she was Melissa Barrera is her name. Excuse me. When she was ousted from the Scream franchise, Jenna Ortega, who's the star of Wednesday, really like one of the hottest actors. So she's like, "Oh, I'm off this franchise too." So everyone thought that it was because of Melissa being kicked off, but then a few hours later, the publicist came out and said, "Oh no, she's too busy filming Wednesday, so she's not going to be in Scream either." But everyone's kind of like, "Oh, well, why did they announce it right after Melissa was kicked off?" So, so a lot of people speculating that maybe it was because she was supporting Melissa and not the Wednesday schedule.
Yeah, it's unbelievable how many like pro-Palestinian actors and college students and chicks have come around. And I don't think it's pro-Palestine. I think it's whatever the opposite of whatever. There's two ways you can go through life. You can go, I'm going to make my decisions based on my own. I'll gather the evidence and make my own decisions. And then there's if someone's conservative, whatever they would do, I'll just do the opposite, which is part of the like Trump derangement syndrome. But I think most of these people I think the conservatives have come down on the side of Israel, and most progressives just go, I do the opposite of whatever a conservative would want. So what are the conservatives? They're pro-Israel. Okay, I'm going with Palestine. Yeah, it's as easy as that. There's no other logical way for you guys to be pro-Palestine or in such crazy numbers.
Yes, but I mean, great actresses, but unfortunate.
Good.
So Shakira's in the news.
Oh yeah.
So she's been dealing with the Spanish government the last week. She actually just settled her criminal case, shelling out around $27 million to receive a lighter sentence after copping to tax fraud charges between 2012 and 2014.
Yeah.
With an in-court acknowledgement she made before a judge. However, she is now, although prosecutors are drilling down on alleged tax fraud from 2018, which is a completely different case than what was dealt just 6 days ago. And they're saying that she deposited an extra $7.2 million in this new investigation.
I don't get taxes in the sense that okay. I feel this way with many facets of life, which is they always go, pay your fair share. Okay, well, pay your fair share just means there's a number. If you're a citizen of the United States or Spain, there's just an average amount that you pay in, that everyone pays in. You could come up with a number in the United States. You'd go, this guy's rich, this guy's poor, but like, what does the average citizen of the United States pay per year? I don't know what the answer is. $13,000 or $41,000. I don't know what it averages out to be, but there's a number. That number is your fair share. That's your fair share unless you're getting something more. Like, I was going to go to the Bay Area, but instead of flying Southwest, I had one of the Blue Angels fly me. It was awesome. I got there in 14 minutes. Like, then that would be me getting extra stuff, right? But I don't get extra stuff. I don't get a second garbage man coming on Wednesday night. You know what I mean? I don't get to go to the park on a Saturday and go like, hey, Mexicans, take your soccer balls and clear the fuck out. I'm playing softball with my rich white friends here. No, I show up at the park, they're playing soccer, and I go, we can't use the park. Right. So there is a fair share number. Anything beyond that is basically gravy. But yet we decided to hate the people, and we're fucking nuts. Your dog's barking in the next. It could go no other way, Pauly. Right in the middle of one of my most relatable rants.
Yeah.
Now, in LA, like California, you have a state tax, right? But the state tax.
So what are you saying about her, though?
Fuck her. Here's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is I pay the most in state tax. I pay like almost 14% in state tax.
Yeah.
Because I make a lot of money.
Yeah.
I should pay less because I make a lot of money. I shouldn't pay the highest rate. You know what I mean? If the rate is somewhere between 8% and 14%, I should be at 8% because of the amount I put in. Just like the fucking mansion tax. Like, mansion tax in LA. If your house is $5 million or under, it's 4.2. But if it's above $10 million, then you pay 5.4. That doesn't make sense. It should be the other way around.
Yeah.
All the taxes are fucked up, and we've trained people to hate people who basically pay all the taxes. And then we go, these rich fat cats with their lawyers, they don't pay anything in taxes. I mean, you get fucking crushed. I get crushed. Pay millions of dollars in taxes. No one thanks you. No one gives a fuck. You don't get anything. And if you ever complain about it, then you're a bad person. Fuck you. Shakira, I side with Shakira. That being said, I think she's fairly talentless. I don't. She possess. I don't feel like she possesses much talent. Does she?
I think she'd steal my table in Vegas for sure.
Oh, she would steal that thing
for sure, right?
I mean, I don't seek out any Shakira songs by any means.
Well, she's got the hips not lying, right? But other than that, it's a thing. I don't know.
think she's as talentless.
I don't think she's as hot as people think she is, and I don't think she's got a big ball of talent. Well, I mean, like you go Beyonce, talent, and what's her name with the
Shakira.
Like there are talented people.
She's pretty
I don't
hot.
know. I don't know. Not a fan.
She's the Latina version of Christina Aguilera and Britney.
But I think she's paid enough in taxes. That's all.
She certainly has paid a lot just now.
You should also get to a threshold. Like, hey, in the course of my life, I paid $10 million in taxes. Now I'm a fucking free ball.
Right.
Leave me the fuck alone.
Right.
I put in fucking $10 million worth of taxes. And you're up my ass? Go fuck with your school teacher over there. That bitch hasn't got to 1 million in 45 years. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just a number. It's just money. It's just revenue. Why are you being fucking punished? Why are you being punished for working hard and being resourceful? Why should you pay at a higher fucking rate in California if you make more money and pay more in? You should be incentivized and pay at a lower rate. Ugh. Pay your fair share. Suck my dick. Anyone who says that can fucking suck my dick and balls. Pay your fair share. Yeah. What does that mean? Okay, the school teacher and the garbage man, they pay in 1 year what I pay in 1 week. Why am I the enemy? Go fucking hassle them. Unless I get special shit, which I should.
Yeah, you should get that shrimp fork.
I should get a shrimp devainer, and the fucking mayor should drop off fresh shrimp to my house every fucking day with a thank you note.
Exactly.
That's right. All right, let's do another.
Yeah. So there's an awful stabbing spree in Ireland.
Oh, yeah.
If you've heard of this. So 3 children and a school care assistant in Dublin city center were injured in the stabbing on Thursday.
Yes.
So Conor McGregor is really upset. Well, actually, this caused like a whole thing. Like a bunch of protesters went to the streets, damaging like a bunch of vehicles, torching a bus.
So kids got stabbed in Ireland?
Yeah.
For what?
It's just a crazy
Middle Eastern.
Yeah, so they're saying,
oh, is it a Palestinian thing?
I think he's Slovakian.
No,
so
he's not something. I don't know if he's Slovakian.
So it's one guy that stabs a whole bunch of kids?
It's basically, here's what's going on. Europe, who's like ahead of us, is like, we're going to be super progressive, and we're going to let people into our country. We're going to let a lot of Middle Eastern folks and people that are into Allah and
immigrants
and Islam and stuff. We're just going to let them in because we're progressive and we don't judge. And now the chickens are coming home to roost. And all the countries...
So people are taking advantage.
Most of them are on welfare. They're living in ghettos and they're acting out. And the deal... Okay, here's the problem. Now, they're guys... Like the guy who runs Hungary, he's like, we're not bringing these people in our country. Our country is for Hungarians.
Cutting it off.
Not opening it up at all.
Picking up the
right.
walls.
Now, if you turn on CNN, they call that guy a racist, right? So anybody who says, sorry, Hungary's Hungary, Now Sweden goes.
So you're
we're
saying
gonna
you
bring
want to
in a
move
lot
to
of-
Hungary?
I do. Yeah.
Let's move to Hungary.
I fucking love goulash and chicken paprikash with no kettle. So now you have a group of people. And the group of people is like, look, whatever your laws are in Denmark or Sweden or Ireland, that's not our laws. Our law is Sharia law.
Yeah.
That's who we deal with. So you can bring us in and we'll take your hospitality and we'll take your welfare checks, but don't expect us to conform to your shit. That's your Western shit.
Right.
We have a bigger and greater calling. That's Sharia law. And then we're all surprised when they do shit. That's where it's kind of a Western awakening right now. And then so what's going to happen with those European nations is they're all going to get super conservative now. Because now they're going to go, we're not going to fucking vote in some liberal guy who says open borders and we're a sanctuary city, which is kind of the same thing here. Like everyone in New York, like they're giving away turkeys in New York, and it's a bunch of migrants that are in line. And the black community's like, hey, those are our free turkeys. And they're like, no, we're a sanctuary city. And these guys got in line before you did, which is funny. Although, you have to kind of take a good look in the mirror because when you hear those people interviewed, they're like, hey, man, those are our free turkeys. And we got some migrants in front of us in line. Like, yeah, okay, but go find a mirror. Look at 44. Why can't you find your own fucking turkey, douche?
Right.
It was like, those are our free. That's our free shit. All right. What do you got?
Anyway, so Conor McGregor is pissed off.
Yes.
And he's been heading to Twitter a lot to tweet, but something he said was, one, there's a grave danger among us in Ireland that should never be here in the first place, and there has been zero action done to support the public in any way, shape, or form with this frightening fact.
Algerian. Is that what did you say?
I said Slovakian, but I was thinking of a different stat.
Yeah, Algerian. He's Middle Eastern or whatever.
He says, not good enough. Announce our plan of action. What are we waiting for? He says Ireland's basically at war here. And there's a huge, and he's really mad at the Irish Police Commissioner, Drew Harris, who's blaming all these riots on far-right protesters and saying people were radicalized.
Right. So the left goes, you guys are all racist and this is all far-right, whatever. And so they paint anyone who opens their mouth and goes, we don't want these people in here as racist. That's their move. That's
He's
their
a
angle
racist.
with everything. That's
You're
right.
a racist.
I sure am.
You hate Filipinos.
I love Filipinos. What
He's killing those pigs.
No, you don't like chicken adobo. I seen you.
How dare you? I'll make you the best chicken.
Do you like
adobo.
chicken adobo?
I've never had it.
Oh, fuck. Tell him.
I brought some of that pig in, though.
Really?
You did?
Yeah.
Holy shit, I want to taste some
Dibs.
pig.
I took
No,
it-
you got
I
to
took
give
some
some
from
Buster.
Drew's
Give
house.
some Buster some pig.
No, he's done
Please.
enough damage. And he's going to associate this with a good time.
That's true.
We should go out there and spill a pot of hot coffee on him and then kick him once. And
like
then next
that.
time, he's not going to want to go to the Adam Carolla show
That's
because he's
funny.
going to associate it with a negative experience, you see? Remember, we got to stay as a couple,
fucking
Pauly. We have to
hilarious.
stay consistent with the dog.
I understand.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. It's going to be a shit show. But let me just explain something to everybody. I think it was in a book of mine at some point. Here's the thing about cultures. You can have good cultures, bad cultures, cultures you agree with, cultures you disagree with. But people and cultures, they're just like fucking ants. And there's different kinds of ants. And there's like army ants. And if you take a whole bunch of fucking army ants and you just move them to a new place and go, here's your new place, army ants, they just do what army ants do. And that's basically what people do and cultures do. So if you're going to move a whole bunch of them into your culture, expect their culture.
Do you think things are more divided now because of social media and everyone's got their devices versus, 20, 30 years ago, which is pretty much the same exact story as it is now, but now it's amplified?
I
think about that for a second.
All right.
Because it's pretty much a reality show what we're watching. I mean, every day if you watch, they film, CNN films the hostages coming from Palestine. They're hugging their family members. They film the Jewish people the hostages from there. It's just like a nonstop. But we never had that growing up. What we had was the news, and we watched Walter Cronkite at 6, and that's the only time you got your news. Other than that, you're just out in your day.
We would never know what Conor McGregor was thinking.
Right.
And now we know what Conor McGregor's thinking.
Yeah. So do you think, my question is, do you think things are more divided now, or that's always been the same?
I think it's more now because people are siloed off. I also think things create a bigger reaction. So basically, it's kind of the same with our border. Our border's been a shit show for
Forever.
a few years and for a long time, but it really kicked into overdrive in the last few years. But if anyone said anything about it or talked about not thinking a sanctuary city was a good idea or something like that, then you were called a racist. And this is international as well. If you stood up and go, I don't think these people should be coming into our country, it's like, okay, racist, have a seat. And it worked for a long time. Like people just going, I don't want to get called a fucking racist. I'm like, hey, George Floyd was killed by the cop. Well, the autopsy says he wasn't. Okay, hey, racist, you want to have a seat? You go, oh, okay. Yeah, I don't want to be called a racist, so I'm going to sit. And so everyone sat down, and as the border became a shit show and as busloads of migrants started getting dropped off in Chicago and New York, camping out on the sidewalks and stealing all the black people's turkeys, now people are kind of going, I don't care if you call me a racist. This is a shit show. And that's the era we're entering right now. We're just entering the call Conor McGregor anything you want. He loves Ireland.
So is it going to be Nikki Haley or DeSantis?
Oh, on that side, I think it's going to be Trump.
Really?
Yeah. I think so, yeah.
He's still just the heavy
He's
lead.
He's got the big
He's a heavy
lead.
favorite. He doesn't even need to go to the debates. He's just
Unless they can figure out a way to lock him up. We'll see. But that's going to cause problems.
But what about
too.
if he's also in prison? Then he could still run in prison and probably get sympathy votes.
He's got to work. His first order of business is to pardon Derek Chauvin. And everyone will go nuts.
Oh, is that right?
Oh my God.
No, he should just do it just to fuck with all the just to watch Whoopi Goldberg go insane on the field.
If he gets elected, he's going to just troll America.
Just troll everybody. That's right. That's right.
God.
Hey, Derek Chauvin, you're out. Hunter, you're in. You go. He's going to tell Hunter Biden, not only going to prison, you need to go to Derek Chauvin's cell and give him a quick handy. And then, Derek, we're going to let you out. Hunter, you're going in. That's what he should do. That would be awesome. Yeah, he's going to troll everybody.
Yeah. So if Trump wins and he takes 4 more years, is he allowed to take another 4 years after that?
No.
So
Only
even
2
though
terms.
it's broken, because it's never done that before. You never had a president here and then not president there, and then he comes back.
Not in our lifetime, but has it ever happened?
Never.
Never happened.
Not
Other
in
guys
America.
have done 3.
There has, huh?
Yeah, like during wartime.
Oh, okay.
Stuff like that. But I don't know that that's
I
there's
also
ever been a break.
think that we should be more of. I mean, it sounds kind of weird, but if you think about it, I think world leaders, they never take our president serious because they know in 4 years this person's leaving anyways. Mm-hmm. Like
Grover
when Biden
Cleveland.
shows up and says da 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 da, they're all kind of nodding, and he's gonna be gone. And then the same thing with Trump. It's like. And the world leaders, they're there for 30, 40 years.
Grover Cleveland took 4 years off.
That's right.
All right,
He's the only one.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he took 4 years off and then hopped back in?
Yeah.
Wow. So it could happen again.
1885 to 1889, and
Damn.
then came back in 1893.
I think they should all take 4 years off and like study the game film.
Yeah, we need a gap year.
Right?
A
That
gap
kinda makes
year. Like
sense.
sit down. Get a job.
Rethink.
Get a job at like Cane's.
Yeah.
You know, work the register, work the grill line.
You got to stay grounded.
You know, like get with the people.
Fly coach.
Let's sit. We'll have like film session where
Shit-
like we
shit-
watch some of your speeches. We watch some of your listen. Like here's some of your policy decisions. Didn't work out too great.
Yeah.
Think about it. Let's see if we can reshift a few priorities here, and then come back fresh. You know, with a nice night of sleep. 4 years. Like, go out and work in the private sector. Like, Joe Biden has never been in the private sector his whole fucking life. He just makes policies that fuck
Right.
with the private sector. Like, go amongst the people, get a regular job, study the game film, figure out what you could have done differently, think about it for 4 years, and we'll have you back to finish your term.
I like this.
I like it too.
Yeah.
All right, let's go out on a positive note.
Okay.
Pauly Shore.
Yeah, is getting a sex change. We're going out on a positive note.
Positive note. Jam in the Van, hosted by Pauly Shore. New episodes every Tuesday on YouTube. You can subscribe on YouTube at Pauly Shore. Live show, January 31st, one-man show at the Comedy Store as well. And then live shows everywhere. And what you can do is go to paulyshore.com for the live shows,
that's
right?
it, yeah.
You got
And then my
Carolla?
social media is just Pauly Shore.
You can go to AdamCarolla.com for all my live shows coming up. Until next time, Adam Carolla for Pauly Shore and Chris Laxamana saying mahalo.